Hi, I'm Venus O'Hara and welcome to another video. Sorry it's taken me a long time to make another video, but there's been a lot of things going on in my personal life at the moment. Well, nothing too dramatic, just some admin things. I'm here in Spain as a British expat and I've got to do all this bureaucratic stuff for Brexit. It's such a pain. Oh my God, I have to get a new ID card. That's been just an absolute nightmare, I can tell you. And what else has been going on? I've been trying to move apartments for some time now, and the uncertainty of the situation here is just making me think maybe it's not the best time. So yeah, I've been lots of bureaucratic stuff and moving, not moving, uncertainty. But anyway, here I am, and I thought I would share with you a video about all the books I've been reading lately. Well, this is a video on my favourite personal finance books. I do love reading about personal finance, and so I wanted to share some of the books I've been reading on this subject. So the first book I read on personal finance was Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, and if you've been watching my videos you'll know how much this book has influenced me, and not in a financial way, but mainly in many ways. Actually, I would say it's kind of like a prequel to the Secret. It's kind of like the law of attraction without saying the law of attraction, and I definitely it's definitely helped me with my money mindset and to learn about the universal laws of money, about serving people and not thinking about how to make money but how you can serve, and how replaceable you are, and what else? Using your imagination. And also what really impacted me about this book is the chapter 10, The Mystery of Sex Transmutation. Dun, dun, dun. So this book really changed my life, and it wasn't so much in a financial way, but it just influenced it on many levels, especially work in general. And when I came across this chapter of Mystery of Sex Transmutation, I thought, oh my God, I'm a sexpert. I review sex toys for a living. And I thought, oh my God, I think I missed something about sexuality here. And it talks about how we can use our sexual energy we can transmute it towards another type of energy, and it can help us become successful. And I was blown away with this, and this actually really influenced my self-love masturbation technique. So now I've been kind of having intentional orgasms ever since I discovered sex transmutation. It's really interesting. So if you're interested in abundance in all areas of life, law of attraction and finance and money mindset, I would definitely recommend this book. And it's actually written in 1937, and it sold millions and millions of copies because it's still relevant today. It's definitely a timeless book. And also I found that whenever I read Napoleon Hill, magical things start happening in my life, because I think it really helps me to think big. It really does. And then once you start thinking big, then you start attracting more exciting projects, etc. And that's definitely what happened with me and this book. And this is the first book I read in 4 years, I think, and I was so influenced and impressed. I thought I need to read some more books. But it took me a long time. And just before, when I bought this book, actually, I also I bought it on Amazon. And you know, when you go to Amazon, there's also some other books in the same category or same subject that were suggested readings. And I also bought Rich Dad Poor Dad, but it was on my by Robert Kiyosaki. And this book was actually on my bookshelf for a year before I actually opened it and read it. And when I did, I read it this year, just before the lockdown. And I was actually glad that I'd waited for a year, because I do believe, now that I'm on a spiritual path, that the timing is always perfect. And this is a bit about the money mindset as well, but it has a lot more practical approaches or lessons in it. And I was so impressed about this. So I've just opened the page now at page 83 with the cash flow of an asset. And I thought I need to get some assets and start making money from assets rather than just work, you know. So, you know, projects or time for money or whatever. So I was just this really opened my mind. And I remember just after I closed this book, after I finished it on the last page, I went straight to the bank, a different bank, and I opened a fun bank account. So just to have different concepts and to be able to control my spending a bit more. And I vowed to myself that I would be learning a lot more about investments and stocks and all of that. And then the lockdown happened, and that didn't quite happen. But it's still on pause for me. My other money education. I'll talk about that a little bit later. So yeah, this book was really amazing, and I recommend it to anyone who wants to change their lives and stop working time for money, and who wants to start living from assets. It's very, very, very interesting. So yeah, very, very inspiring book. And then the lockdown happened. And I read, this is the first book I read in the lockdown, The Law of Success, which is another book by Napoleon Hill. And this book was actually published before Think and Grow Rich, and it's a mega Bible. I've just opened it on the chapter on imagination. And if you read Napoleon Hill, a lot of the ideas, in my opinion, I've read 3 books, another one's coming up, they're quite repetitive, but it's still good to get all that information in. This is quite a more long-winded approach, because it has about 700 pages or something. Yeah, 710 pages, but still great things happen whenever I read Napoleon Hill. And but what did challenge me with this book was that I wasn't able to read as many pages in a day as I would normally, because I was so distracted by the uncertainty of lockdown. Also, where I'm living in Barcelona, it was springtime, and people started having parties on their terraces. So I was really annoyed by different people's noise, and I was just like, let me just read The Law of Success. So it was definitely challenging, and it was such a long book as well, not reading too much, so it did take me quite a while to get to the end. So I hope to read this again one day in more tranquil circumstances. Okay, the next one I read, don't know actually which one was the next one. I think it probably was How to Raise Your Salary by Napoleon Hill, and I've read amazing things about this book. It has incredible reviews, and I don't think it's as well known as the other books. And someone said that it was because the title, How to Raise Your Own Salary, I think a lot of people who are entrepreneurs or freelancers saw the word salary and just imagine that it wasn't for them, because it would be more for employees. But that's not true at all. I think it has a lot of the ideas, and it's actually presented with it's kind of like a fictitious conversation between Napoleon Hill and what's his name again? Andrew Carnegie. So it's a very interesting. It's similar to all the ideas of Think and Grow Rich, but from Andrew Carnegie's perspective. So it's definitely an interesting book, and it was easier to read than the Law of Success. But yeah, I'll definitely read some more of Napoleon Hill, or maybe reread what I've already got, just to kind of get those ideas into my head again. But this one is definitely a great book. And the next book I read on... Oh yeah, this is the next book I read on personal finance, which is Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker. I loved this book. I really, really enjoyed this book a lot. It has kind of, let's say, a filing cabinet with different ideas. For example, the rich versus the poor mindset. And there are 17 wealth files in them. And I think it's really interesting. When I was reading it, I think a lot of the ideas I was already familiar with. It was, they were kind of, I'd already come across them in Think and Grow Rich and Rich Dad, Poor Dad. So I was very familiar with it, but it was definitely good to go over these things again. And yeah, one of my takeaways from this book really was to stop thinking of money as something that provides security. I think that's definitely coming from a place of fear. And I think security is the wrong word to use. I think we should be thinking more about more positive words like freedom and flexibility. So they're the ones to go for. But I did find that when I was reading this book that I do already possess a lot of the rich mindset qualities. I just need my bank account to catch up now. But I've definitely got to the first stage, and it's very interesting about. Also, I was discussing some money and stuff with a friend of mine, and he was saying that he wanted to win the lottery. And nothing against the lottery, but I think if you have a big lump sum of cash that comes in and you don't have the mentality for it, I think there was a study that says that most people who do win the lottery do end up losing all their money because they just can't handle it. And also trying to play the lottery or get married to a rich person or something like that is definitely kind of putting your wealth and finances in the hands of someone else, when really we should be taking control of our own situations ourselves as much as possible, really. So that's something that I took away from this book. And it's very easy to read, very fast read as well. He just mentioned network marketing in it a lot, which was a bit of a red flag for me, because I have friends who are into MLMs and all this stuff, and it's just, I find it really annoying. I mean, when they want to meet you, it seems like a pitch rather than a coffee and a chat. And I think this whole way of marketing is really terrible, to actually use your own personal contacts to sell something. I just don't think that is the way to go. Although it's true that many MLM schemes do have good training programs, and they do have a big emphasis on personal development, which I love personal development, but I don't know. I sometimes the products can be good, but I wouldn't want to be sucked into all of that manipulation. Ooh, that's just my personal opinion anyway. But there's lots of great things in this book. And then the next book I read this very quickly. George S. I don't know how to pronounce this name. Clason. The Richest Man in Babylon. This is also an old book. This was written a long time ago. And it's a very interesting book. Lots of ideas from ancient Babylon and some timeless ideas about money. For example, let me show you. It says here are some seven rules. Number 1, start thy purse to fattening. So it's written like old English, which is a bit hard to get used to at first, but once I did, it was a very easy read, and it's kind of like lots of tales, so it's quite entertaining as well. And then number 2, control thy expenditures. Yes. Number 3, make thy gold multiply. Number 4, guard thy treasures from loss. Number 5, make of thy dwelling a profitable investment. Number 6, ensure a future income. And number 7, increase thy ability to earn. So lots of great ideas that have been around for a long time, and very interesting. And it's very entertaining as well, the way it's written. And the last book I've just finished last week was Happy Money by Ken Honda, Japan's best-selling Zen millionaire. And I absolutely loved this book. I saw a advert from Mind Valley with the author, Ken Honda, and he was talking about arigato, the arigato in, arigato out of money. And I thought that was a really interesting concept, to say thank you or to bless your money as it comes in and as it comes out. So I started doing that actually in the last couple of weeks. And this book is really about the money EQ, the emotional intelligence that is associated with money, and also about happy money, meaning that your money comes from a happy source and you're spending it on happy things. For example, it's not coming from exploitation, you're not spending it on illegal things, you know what I mean? So it's really influenced how I perceive my spending. For example, sometimes when I spend money, or in the past, I've just focused on, oh, it cost me this much. Whereas now with the arigato out, whenever I'm buying something, I always think about, I'm more appreciative about what I'm obtaining from that purchase, and I'm very grateful when I look at my bag and I think, oh yes, I've got this beautiful, this really nice organic bread, and it's really nice for whatever. I'm more appreciative of the goods that I've purchased. And even if I see a tax bill, you know, I'm grateful that I was able to pay it. So it's definitely changing my mentality about how I'm spending it, rather than thinking I've just lost money. I've actually looking at what I've exchanged the money for. And also I saw the film Wolf of Wall Street recently, and I thought it was absolutely mind-blowing. It was so interesting, so I'm definitely getting more interested in the world of finances in general. And I just thought, oh my God, all this, it was very interesting. And especially just thinking about all the excess and the waste. I mean, some of the parties that were in the film, I mean, imagine what you could have done with that money for it to be happy money. I mean, I don't know. It's I'm really glad that I've got to a stage in my life when I am starting to become more abundant and comfortable, but I'm sober, and I have the mentality of investing in things that I think are good for the world, rather than thinking of excess, self-destruction, and I don't know, exploitation and things like that. So I thought it was very interesting. So I think that we have a lot of abundance blocks because I think a lot of people do think that people who have money are bad, or they've obtained it because they've done bad things. And that doesn't have to be the case at all. You can definitely invest your money into good things. And also recently, when I'm purchasing things, for example, I wanted to buy some towels recently, and I saw some towels being advertised that were fair trade and organic. And I thought, yes, I'm getting those ones. Even though they're more expensive, I know it's happier money than going for a more industrial, non-organic, cheaper approach. So it's definitely made me think about where my hard-earned cash is going. And also another thing about this book, which was really interesting, apart from the arigato and the happiness of money, is that at the end, people, think of money as security and abundance. But what he says here, which was really interesting, I can't remember where it was exactly, but it was something about that you should get your security from the people in your life. For example, this guy says that he's got 50 good friends, and if anything goes wrong in his life, he'll just spend 1 week with all his friends throughout the year and it'll all be fine. So it's definitely an interesting approach to think about, not be a workaholic and just put all your energy into making more and more and more money, because that's not going to make you feel more secure. I think security or abundance could be from the people around you, or is that the right way around? And then also to just invest in yourself, learning and health and all of that. So yeah, I can't remember where it was now, but you get my point, I hope. But yeah, I really love this book. But going back to money IQ, which is something I'm really missing, because in this selection of books here, there's lots of things about money mindset, a couple of practical tips, but not as many as I would like. And I heard many people have been recommending this book to me, The Intelligent Investor, and I started reading it, wanting to become an intelligent investor myself. And it was like reading something in a different language. I just don't understand it. There are chapters in this book, and then there are some explanations of the chapter, but I don't really understand the chapters. I have to go to the kind of commentary on the chapters to actually understand what they were talking about. But even so, I'm not really quite understanding it. So if anyone has any suggestions or recommendations to learn about money IQ, like the practical things about how to invest, etc., then please leave me a comment in the comment section below, because I would love to hear about that. So voila, my favorite books on personal finance. And what about you? Have you got any books that you would like to share with me that might be next in my reading list? I would love to hear some new recommendations, because I'm absolutely loving reading at the moment. I must have read about 25 books ever since lockdown, so it's definitely becoming a very important part of my day. I have my breakfast in the morning, and then I read for about an hour, which is very cool. Anyway, so I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have any comments or questions or suggestions for new videos, then please don't hesitate to contact me at venus@venusohara.org. Yeah. Or add me on Instagram at Venus O'Hara. Thanks for watching.